Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back with some more Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast action. On that mouthful of a note, we've got ourselves another Terran versus Protoss here. It's another one from the Elite League. Seems to be the new bread and butter of the channel lately, until some more Starcraft 2 pops up. Of course, there's always more and more Starcraft 2, but the Elite League really is the best place to go for those high level, or I'll say highest level, regular pro-Korean Starcraft 2 games. So I'm happy to be casting another series from this. We've got two frequent flyers in this tournament, or just players that I've been casting a lot of recently. Of course, it's good to always see how a match between them is going to go. So spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, Disco Bloodbath. No, not the player name. That's the map we're on. And this is the player. It's Dream from Brave Star Gaming. If you've been following the channel for a while, you're probably like, ah, Dream. Yeah, this really good Terran player. He's a Korean pro player, and he's up on the up and up in a sense. And then in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's a very solid Protoss player for the Jin Air Green Wings. It's Creator. So we've got ourselves a Protoss taking on a Terran, or a Terran taking on a Protoss. If you're a Terran, you're cheering for Dream. If you're a Protoss, you're cheering for Creator. If you're a Zerg, you're just hoping that, I don't know, they draw or whatever, which is a possibility. Draws can happen in StarCraft 2. They're about as rare as finding like a diamond or something just on the side of the street or whatever. Draws in StarCraft 2 are pretty uncommon. I mean, they definitely can happen, but I highly doubt we'll see that. It's pretty darn rare that we see a draw in a pro match. It's maybe like, oh, I can't even recall. It's definitely been years since the last one I've seen. Yeah, so we'll just see how this match is gonna go. I mean, Dream, he's a very good Terran player. He seems to be showing a lot of prowess lately. Creator, on the other hand, I mean, he's about at the usual Creator level as far as he goes. He's a very good Protoss player, and he can have some very good results, but he beats usually who you expect him to beat. He definitely has a chance to beat Dream here, but as far as being a favorite versus Dream, I don't think I could say that really lately. So Dream, a very good Terran, but then of course Creator, if things really sort of line up his way, he can definitely take on Dream because he is that solid. Now we take a look at the build here. Starport is on the way out for Creator. Dream hasn't spotted this, and he's been trying very hard to, as a matter of fact. Dream has just been poking in and out with his Reaper nonstop. He's like, where are you? Where are you? Show me the Reaper. Now, these two Adepts, actually, interestingly enough, both shade after this Reaper. One is going to back on up, though, and start to move across the map, whereas the other is also going to move across the map. Okay, so we got two Adepts moving across the map here for Creator, and then a Phoenix behind this. So the Adept Phoenix style can be very strong early on, and just in general, it can be a very strong Protoss style, as I mean, it just gives you nice map control. These Adepts for Creator, by the way, finds the Reaper again. It's so cool and brazen in a sense that he's willing to move out on the map with his two Adepts just like this. And oh, he might catch that Reaper. Oh, the Reaper turns around. The Dream's Reaper control is really on point here today. That being said, it's not like not killing the Reaper is the end of the world for Creator, as he's already done a good job shutting down the scouting. Dream has no idea what's coming his way. He's playing pretty darn standard here as a Terran. He's probably going to be going for a bit of a drop or something. Meanwhile, Creator is just going to start moving across the map with his two Phoenix, see what he can lift up, see if he can get into any trouble in a sense. And oh, take a look at this. A third base is on the way here for the Protoss. Dream scouts that, which isn't too big of a deal, but look at this. Dream's finally going to get into the main base with the Reaper. Actually gets into the natural. He wants to kill a probe, it would seem. Looks like he will get the one probe, so this Reaper having a bit of a heyday here. I'm not sure if the Phoenix have actually been seen yet, though. I mean, the Stargate's been seen, so it's definitely known what's coming his way now for Dream, but it's pretty much, it was a pretty darn late scout for the Reaper. If it was a DT rush or something, Dream would have had no idea, realistically. Now, we do take a look. It is going to be the Robotics Bay following this up for Creator. And in my opinion, this is one of the strongest styles that a Protoss can play if they play it right. Going into Colossus and Phoenix, the Phoenix are just so good in the sense that they make it so the Terran can't really produce Vikings in order to kill the Colossus. It really all is about positioning on the Terran, and that makes the game play out in the sense that as long as the Protoss has a good position and it's very reactive, they really shouldn't die to what's coming their way. And I say that in all honesty because as long as a Protoss sort of has a heads up of when a Terran's coming in, the Protoss can retreat back with their Colossus. Their Phoenix can be used to tank in the fight if needed. They can always harass and everything, shut down drops. So it's very tough to do for the Protoss. By the way, these Phoenix skins for Creator look very cool. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is that as long as Creator really stays on it, going into this style is very viable. Like it's not too likely that Dream's just gonna say stim on into Creator and kill him. He's gonna have to try and pull Creator out of position. So it's Creator's job not to be pulled out of position in a sense, to be looking out for drops and everything. So far he is coming in with his Phoenix. He eats one Widowmine. Oh, he actually eats the second. Gets 2 SCVs for his troubles, but that does hurt a little bit. Loses a fair bit of HP on some of his Phoenix. Fortunately for Creator, Phoenix are very tanky units, and actually pretty fortunately for him, the Phoenix, they each took an individual shot. If one Phoenix ate 2 Widowmines, it would have died. But, oh, look at this. A nice find here, too, for Creator. Gets himself a Medivac. Now, that is very nice, removing some of the healing power from Dream's army. Of course, he's got to pay attention to these Phoenix and get them back. But yeah, look at this. Dream actually might just be going for a big old attack here. It should be tough for him to make this work, though, based on the fact that there's an Immortal. And this is why we see Dream. He's going to be looking to go for a bit of a Medivac drop. The Phoenix, of course, are looking to shut this down. So here we see Dream. He's like, yeah, I probably can't push into a Colossus and Immortal and a couple of shield batteries, particularly when there's also Zealots and Sentries in the mix, too. So he's going to be looking for something else, and this is exactly what we see Dream doing. Creator's really focused on shutting down a potential drop in his main, whereas Dream's going to try and kind of bamboozle Creator. He's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely dropping your main, when in reality, he's got another drop queued up to the natural base of Creator, and oh, Colossus for Creator is really out of position here. We take a look here. Phoenix are getting on top of these Medivacs. I mean, the Bio can unload. This Colossus is actually really exposed. One of the Medivacs gets picked off. The Colossus is doing the best that it can, but then there's also a drop in the main base, so Dream has successfully pulled Creator out of position. Zealots are getting on top of this Bio, but probes are starting to die here. Stalkers are eating Widowmine connections. The Depth is going to tank out the Widowmine shot, so Dream getting some nice damage done, and as he comes on in, as he's pulled Creator out of position, now the third base is exposed that was original, and oh no, these Widowmines are going to kill all the Phoenix die there. Oh, that is disastrous for the Protoss. Now, even the Observer getting scanned and cleaned up. Creator losing a lot of his reactivity, and oh, he steps forward with his Colossus. I almost said stepped off creep, but it's pretty much the same effect. He stepped too far forward and overcommitted. Now we take a look. Stalkers and a Cannon. Gonna try and deal with this drop here. Should be set up pretty well to deal with this. The Immortal putting out a lot of damage onto this Medivac, but Dream has already got a lot of damage done to his opponent. He killed off 16 probes. He killed all the Phoenix, which were the main source of anti-air and drop response for the Protoss. We take a look at this now, you're like, oh, well, he can just use Stalkers and things to defend versus the drops. No, he's only just getting up a Twilight Council now. The main composition that Creator was going for was the Phoenix. It was, it was the Phoenix and Colossus, and that really delayed, of course, the Blink Stalkers. It delayed the charge lots. So all of a sudden, Creator's in a bit of a tough spot losing those Phoenix because just the value they added. The fact that he's had to replace these is not something that he wanted. He probably wanted to be transitioning into Zealots, getting up a ton of those, just making Colossus non-stop. Maybe probably wanting up a 4th base at this point in the game, but the fact he took so much damage, he doesn't have that. We do see Creator still staying alive in this game, and he's actually reacting to a Widowmine drop. Oh, okay, good reaction there, but and also trying to deal with these Widowmines and this big chunk of Bio here. This is a very significant Bio army. You see this Medivac getting shut down too. But yeah, a very significant Bio army here from Dream. His production has been non-stop. He opened up with a very Bio-heavy play. And now we take a look here. We're seeing Ghosts on the way. There isn't the enhanced shockwave upgrade yet. It would be good to see Dream get that, but oh, Creator out on the map with just a small chunk of his army here. He's trying to split up in order to cover all of his bases here, literally, and this could actually leave him very vulnerable to a big attack. This is another reason why you want to have a pretty good Phoenix count, because the Phoenix can be the main response, so your army doesn't have to be split up in a sense. Now we take a look, Creator trying to get up a 4th base, but then there's a drop here looking pretty nasty, like they could potentially shut this down. 1-1 is about to be done for Creator, so he should be on par with upgrades on as to Dream, but now we see Dream, he's been able to get out all of these ghosts. He's getting up a good Viking count. He's shutting down the 4th base of the Protoss. I'm pretty sure this is a goner. This is pulling the entire Protoss army back out of position. That Nexus gets canceled. There wasn't enough there to defend it. And very nicely done there from Dream. Creator, he's on 3 bases versus a Terran who's getting up his 4th base. We see Creator realizing what sort of situation he's in right now. He's like, right, I'm not in the best spot as the Protoss player right now, so I'm gonna go into a very good unit for comebacks called the Disruptor. Now, if Dream's on point, he might be able to make it seem like this, like 1 or 2 Disruptors are useless. Otherwise, this could be a great tool for Creator to start coming back in this game, because we take a look, and Disruptors, I mean, they just deal a lot of damage versus... They deal a lot of damage. I mean, 145 splash damage and an additional 55 shield damage to nearby ground units. So you guys can do the math on that. That pretty much one-shots anything in the Terran arsenal on the ground. Oh, look at this Creator. He was going for a nice move, double expanding after being like, I could potentially lose one of these bases here. So going for that is very good to see. We see the Phoenix still working away in the Medivac. Zealots being warped in to deal with this attack, but very nice positioning here from Dream. More and more Zealots have to be warped in to deal with this drop. Creator, he had his 5th base shut down. He's still taking damage from these drops. And yeah, look at this. This bio is not going to be cleaned on up just yet. And, oh, 3 gateways are getting unpowered for Creator. This actually really, really hurts the Protoss. And now look at this, he's having to pull some of his units forward, but Creator's kind of moving forward a little bit. He's sending some Zealots in to scope out his opponent, maybe planning on going for an attack. But this drop's finally just getting cleaned on up. Really hurts Creator, and that means since he had units back cleaning up this drop, this is not his full army here. He's got a Colossus and 2 Archons, not with his main army, and when he's already down on supply, I don't think he can take a fight like this. I mean, he's got Disruptors, yes, which are very good, but you got to be so careful about overextending right now, as this Terran army is just monstrous. There is so much bio here right now. Creator, I mean, he's got Disruptors. Oh, 1 Nova goes out, but yeah, look at this Dream. He's planning a big surround, and Creator all of a sudden has to get on out of here. It's going to cost him a Disruptor going for this. He tries to save it with a Force Field, but to no effect. And Creator is getting up his +3 armor. He's heading towards his +2 attack, so his army is very formidable. His bank is okay, and his supply is okay, but Dream's already getting up to a 5th base, so he definitely still has room to make a play in this game, and Creator is definitely still on the back foot. And then we take a look at this. Stalkers and Zealots coming on in here to try and save this 4th base, but there's just enough bio here, or there's plenty of bio here in order to deal with this, so Creator gonna have to split his army. We take a look at this, a drop heading on into the main base. There's a cannon there, but there's also a lot of exposed area, so these Medivacs boosting on in. The 4th base of the Protoss was actually killed. Creator now has a Terran unloading into his main base. He's forced to recall, but we're 13 minutes into this game, and Creator is still struggling just to defend his bare minimum number of bases. This one Marauder in this spot, by the way, just being such a pain. We'll get cleaned on up there, but yeah, I mean, both players with pretty good armies here. But Dream he's just macroing like a madman. We finally see the Protoss leaving something of significance here to defend versus a drop or whatever at the 4th base. But he's got to make sure that he stays on top of these bases. Right now, like, if the Protoss hadn't taken so much harassment damage, he could be going up to, say, 6 bases or something. He could be going into Tempest or something, but Creator has just been so broke. He's just been pinned down so hard. I mean, and there's definitely still a chance for him in this game, but... because it can really just come down to one army fight, but it's like his remax potential and everything is a lot lower than it could be. He's having to rely on Disruptors as a big portion of his army here, and he's going to need to take a very good fight with them. Otherwise, Dream, I feel, is just going to be able to remax way more. One random Disruptor out on the map got caught here, maybe looking for a big hit or something like that. Meanwhile, another Terran drop. sort of eyeing out his opponent a little bit. There's 2 Stalkers and a Sentry to defend. That's definitely not enough. Meanwhile, another drop moving on in towards the 4th base. This base has been knocked down twice, I think. And oh, take a look at this. The Terran actually moving on in towards the 3rd of the Protoss. Creator is now moving in with his main army. We're heading into a bit of a base race right now, but the Terran, with drops all over, seems to have the lead on this. A good reaction at the 4th base of the Protoss. The main base, though, under fire. The 3rd base is gone. The Protoss needs to break the Terran right now. You've got to get on top of the Terran's production. Dream is making 3 nukes at a time. He's churning out Liberators. The Protoss running probes away, and he really needs to do a good job of that. But this could actually go Creator's way here. I mean, he's got himself a very strong army, so if Dream sort of gets fragmented too much, which he very well is, he's got forces here, he's got forces in the main base, he's really eyeing for the actual full-on base trade. And as long as Creator can get on in here with, say, his Archons and shut down the Terran's main production, this could be good for him. But, oh, take a look at this. 4 Liberators just popped out, or 3 Liberators just popped out for the Terran. And any trade the Terran takes at this point is a lot better because his production is set up in a much more efficient manner in order to shut down this Protoss army, because there's not that many Stalkers here. Archons are good anti-air, but in a bogged up base situation like this, that's not too good. We see Creator, he's losing units to these Archons, and it looks like Dream might have been able to secure his production. The Protoss is losing a ton of probes here. He moved his army instead of trying to defend this base. Probably a smart call, but really it's no winning here for the Protoss. Dream or Creator trying to salvage his own main base while he continuously gets this harassment off. He's got disruptors here still, just trying to avoid the liberation zone and the constant bullying of Dream. Dream even calling a nuke into his own base here in order to drive the Protoss away. And we take a look at this. Dream, he's still mining at this base. He's got orbital commands to spare. He's building another one. He's got a planetary to defend as well. And the Protoss, his main base is pretty much gone. I mean, the Dark Shrine was made. It's a very nice touch for Creator, but with just 1 DT warping on in and the fact that there's still all these orbitals and everything, it's not going to be enough. Or, I mean, maybe it could be. Let's just see. This 1 DT could get on in there. Of course, every unit it kills at this point, the game has value. Creator going to start mining at this base, so he's going to have a bit of an income. At least he's got some Zealots in the main. I think you probably want to recall these Zealots to keep them alive if you're Creator, but for now he's just focused on trying to break down this planetary. He is going to be able to get it, but oh, he's actually locked on into this corner here. He better hope that he's got a recall. He does, so he's going to be able to get those units out of there. Loses a fair chunk of his army. He got the planetary, but oh, there's not much else. And oh, Creator, since he used the recall to get those units out, it's just not enough. And Dream takes the game. I mean, he had a nice early lead, but Creator, man, he made that game a close one with that full-on base trade there. What a fantastic TvP between these two. Dream and Creator always deliver, but the way Creator was set up, like, he was just establishing his base in a sense. Yeah, he was just establishing his base, and since, like, it was just getting online, he was just getting his 5th online, whereas Dream had all this infrastructure, and in a base trade or a scrappy situation, that does buy you room to play with. And yeah, very, very nicely done from Dream taking that first game. But keep in mind, that was just game number 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even get a chance to say it earlier on because I was just so into that game. But if you enjoyed that, make sure to press that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, as I put out content like this pretty much every day. So yeah, here we go. This best of, oh, got it, make sure the game's actually playing. Best of 3 continuing on. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's Dream. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, Creator. We'll see how these two guys are gonna play it, but yeah, let's try and hit 15 likes on this video. I know I didn't mention it at the start or anything, so it can tend to be forgotten about. But yeah, let's try and see that. And I'm just gonna check something else out. Yes, just making sure that we got the right replay loaded on up here. I know when players are on barcodes, it can be a little bit confusing. But this is indeed Dream versus Creator. All right, so we'll see how's this next game gonna go? I mean, that last one was an absolute banger of a TvP. So we'll see. Like, I like the way Creator played. If he can do that, but just not take so much damage early on, like, I think that is a incredible way for Protoss to play the game. On the other hand, Dream is a Terran. From what I've seen lately, since he's come back, he's not at all afraid to go into the late game versus Protoss. Some Terrans, they almost kind of panic. They're like, oh no, I haven't killed the Protoss yet. Dream's just like, whatever. I'll build a 4th, a 5th base, Ghost, Vikings, you name it. And then he's confident enough when a Protoss has a very scary army. He's like, yeah, I'll take the fight, whatever. It's not going to get to me. And that's a very tough thing to do as a Terran, I feel. Now, we take a look here. Creator just scouted out with his probe. He's like, all right, no proxy racks or anything. Protoss players still a little bit scarred from the era in which every Terran and their dog was going for a proxy. Okay, Dream going for his own scout. Both these players like to keep an eye on each other. Adept gonna be popping out that shield or getting out that shade. Can chase down the Reaper. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these kind of commentaries. Just really gonna try and stay on top of doing a video here and there. Of course, you guys have also been killing it with being fans and everything. I know you've been enjoying the games and everything. So let's just read a comment here. I used to, okay, I'm not gonna say I used to. I'm gonna say for like a week, I read a video or read a comment at the start of every video. And since this game's kind of just heating on up, let's bring that back here. We have got a comment from Right1331 who says, LNG, LaughNgamez, that's me, in case you didn't know. I really like seeing his games, and I have to guess, Dongraegu is your favorite player to watch, even though he's not my natural race. And that's brought on to the Freak of World we recently just did, which had Dongraegu, the Korean Zerg. And he is one of my favorite players to watch lately, I think, and that's because I'm still really analyzing his skill level. Dongraegu was a pro gamer before I was even in Starcraft 2, really. So it's kind of fun for me to explore all these old pros and be like, oh, who is this? Where's he really at? And I mean, I've seen some of his games. I cheered for him when he came back in 2016 and everything, briefly. And now he seems to be back back at a high level again. So I'm like, okay, how good is he really? And the answer is, I'm still kind of figuring that out, but his games are really fun to watch just because he plays like a classic Zerg. So yes, Dongraegu is one of my favorite players. So yeah, make sure to leave a comment on this video. Let me know who your favorite StarCraft 2 player is. I'm gonna guess, if it's Cyril, say someone other than Cyril. Because we all know everyone's a Cyril fan. So yeah, let's just see how this game is going. I mean, we've got Creator. He's not going for that Colossus Robo style or that Colossus Phoenix style again, probably because of the map. I think it's a bit tougher to make a style like that work because of that last map, Disco Bloodbath. Much larger, so the Phoenix have more time to sort of shark around in a sense, and it's easier to be defensive or play that style of defense. This game, we've got Creator going for a very classic Protoss build at this point. The Blink opening, just which you go for a poke, then you get your +1, you get your 3rd on the way, and then you play the game from there. He's also got a Prism, so he is going to be looking to put a bit of pressure onto Dream right now. Of course, these attacks work because the Terran, it takes time for their production to get online and everything. That's why Dream, though, he's gone for a bunker, and he is going for a 3 racks play here. So Dream should be pretty safe for the most part from what's coming his way. And look at this play, actually, here from Creator. He's coming on in with his Prism. He's got the Blink, but he's going to elevate the Stalkers into the main base. Now, you got to be so careful if you're Creator right now, because those Stalkers, oh man, they almost got trapped there. If he didn't manage to lift those up in time, those would have been 4 dead Stalkers. That's why I was saying, going for the elevate play with the Prism, it's kind of risky, and it was indeed. Now, we take a look here. More and more Stalkers are out for the Protoss. I don't know if he can blink into the main base, so you got to be so careful. He's going to lose his Observer. That really hurts for the Protoss. Creator bringing the Prism with this. He's got more micro potential, there's a chance he can just focus down this bunker, and I think he's going to get it. That is nice for Creator. He's able to lift up his Stalkers here, so this is actually a nice opening. Getting the bunker, now pulling his Stalkers back. He's got the Prism, kind of like an extra blink for his units. He's actually going to be warping on in more. He's got to be careful, though, because his Stalkers have lost a lot of their HP. He had to cancel the warp, and oh, he actually loses the Prism, so he loses his high ground vision, and things went sour a little bit quickly there for Creator. I mean, that could have easily been a situation which it just snowballed. Say he had got that warping off, I think, and kept that Prism alive. I think Creator definitely could have kept that going. Now he's got to try and push up a ramp, which just doesn't really work. We see the Blink Stalkers; they take too much damage going up the ramp. And that really, really hurts for Creator. Like, if we have a repeat there, that could have gotten really sour for the Terran because he lost his bunker and the Stalkers could have just microed and microed and microed. Stim wasn't done yet. But now we take a look. The Protoss player is out on the map with his Stalkers. He's going to try and stall this bio here. He's hoping to catch Dream with a nice Disruption Nova. And oh, he gets a decent connection. Mainly hits Marines there. Didn't get any Marauders or Mines. So could have hoped for a better connection than that. But Creator being out on the map, that was a very sick play. So I'm really liking how Creator is playing this. However, we don't want to see him get caught off guard by something like a drop again that happened in the past. He's throwing up pylons because he's worried about Dream catching him with a drop again. So we take a look here. Stalkers are going to move on out, but this is enough bio, which the Stalkers can be bullied away. So a cool move from Dream. Oh, is he going to go for it? Oh no, Dream could actually lose his medivacs here. This could be disastrous. Does he see it? Yes, he does. The Stalkers blink. That's one full medivac gone immediately. A lot of the bio does unload here. A few Adepts coming on into the mix to tank, though. Does Creator dodge that mine? No, he doesn't. I think that mine killed like 2 Stalkers. So far, though, 7 probes died here to Raven auto turret harassment. There's also another medivac drop being queued on up. Creator's map presence is really, really impressive here. He's even got his Stalkers still trying to chase down this bio, and it really is just Marauders. If Creator micros this, he can definitely win this fight. Does he blink after this? Yes, he does. He's got to be careful, though. More bio waiting, and a drop planning on going towards the 3rd base of Creator. He's going to be taking a bit of damage here. He might need to recall. He actually loses his 3 Stalkers. He's not microing this. It looks like he's actually going to be going for a bit of a push. Both players are really disjointed here right now. Creator could be losing his 3rd base. He's tossing out Disruption Novas. Going to hit so many SCVs there. But, of course, not all of his armies here. He didn't bring in those other units, so he has the force field to defend these. The Immortal is strong, but the rest of these units are not. The Disruptors are getting focused down. The rest of Creator's army is coming on in. He's going to start working away in the medivacs, but his 3rd base is gone. Oh my gosh, this is such a scrappy Protoss versus Terran. Creator warping in a big round of Adepts as he got Resonating Glaives. He's now going to try and engage this bio. He's got a Disruptor, but it actually wanders forward, and it's going to go down. Adept shading after. They're very tanky versus the Marauders, so kind of filling the role of Zealots here. Stalkers blink after this. The Adept shade on in. The Stalkers are the main damage output here for the Protoss. Creator, he needs to get another big warp in or something off, because back at home, he is getting ravaged. This is such a close game here right now. There's the warp in, but the Prism could be sniped. No, it isn't, so that's more Adepts into the main base of Dream. Dream's producing everything that he can, but it looks like his production could be compromised right now. At the same time, though, the Protoss, his natural base, it's gone. It's not mining. His main base isn't even mining, thanks to this auto turret harassment. So we could have that potential drop I talked about. Widowmine's very good in this situation because they usually get guaranteed kills, but good moves there from Creator. Blinking on top of that. You've got to stay on top of the Terran production. This one Marauder is actually getting work done. Is it going to kill another Stalker? That's actually a lot of damage. Creator thinks he's secured the Terran production, but he's got to stay on top of this here, and he actually recalled to defend his main base, knowing that he can't lose all of his production, but he needs to stay on top of the Terran production, otherwise he will just lose this game if the Terran can get out like a few rounds of units here. The Prism is actually gold here right now, as long as he micros these units and keeps them alive. He needs to keep lifting up his Stalkers so he can pick off these Marauders, but he loses one Marauders. He's warping in a Zealot here to actually help on out. Liberators are coming out for the, good dodges there, working away in these Widow Mines. Has Creator actually compromised the production of Dream? He's got more units coming across the map. That could be exactly what the Protoss needs, but all of a sudden the Terran brought some of his units back, and this is going to re-establish Dream's production. And with Dream getting his production back online, all he needs out is a round of units or two, and he can just take a good fight right now. Creator, though, he's got a lot of adepts here. He's got an Immortal, he's got a Prism to micro them, and we know Creator has good Prism micro, but, I mean, the bio is so good in this situation. The supplies are pretty much dead even. Of course, Creator, he's got probes, so he's down in the army, and it looks like Dream might actually take this. He's got 3 orbitals to fall back on. Creator does not. Creator needs to win the game right here, right now. Dream wants to push on in. He's warping in absolutely everything that he can. The Liberators, though, the Stim bio is so powerful here in this situation. Creator needs to micro like a god with this. He needs to take a perfect engagement, but the bio stims, it's coming on in here. Creator's microing, but he gets baited into Liberation Zones, baited into Widow Mines, and Dream takes the game. He takes the series 2-1, and I was thinking, well, should I bother casting this series? Man, I am glad I did. Creator versus Dream, while it was a 2-0, really delivering here. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this series as much as I did, press that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This has been LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time.